Hey y'all, it's Traveling Tony. I um I got another incident I want to talk to y'all about that I experienced when I was working at this auto dealership that sold trucks and cars, brand new trucks and cars. I like I said, I was a porter, and I worked mainly in the garage where they mechanics fixed vehicles, and I did several things around there, and I cleaned up the shop in the back and swept and mopped and took out trash and like I said, I was a shuttle driver too. I did a combination of duties on that at that facility, and had a supervisor like anyone else would have on the job. And one day, my supervisor come to me and he says, "Hey, Tony, we got a mess up at the bathroom in the front of the dealership next to the showroom floor." Which I didn't never clean that bathroom. I had to change the toilet paper in there, but I never had to clean it. They had a professional service come in and clean the restroom. But apparently somebody made a mess, or maybe the toilet overflowed or something like that. I think that's what my boss told me. The toilet overflowed, and I went up front and opened up the door and went in there, and it was in the men's restroom. I had to change the toilet paper and stuff like that in the women's too. But I went in the men's restroom and opened up the stalls, and there was shit all over the toilet seat, all over the piping where you flush your handle, and at the bottom, the neck part of that, and on the floor. And I'm like, golly, like the guy had the runs on top of just outright shitting on the commode. I was like, golly, I about threw up just looking at it. And I got to clean it up. So I leave the bathroom and I go back in the garage so I can find a box. And all the way I'm trying to think of how am I going to clean this up without getting my hands all nasty. And so I get some rubber gloves and I'm still trying to figure out how to get this up. So I go and get some rags and a box and uh, dustpan and a broom, and because it was a mess, it wasn't solid. That's the worst part about it. It wasn't solid, and so I all during this point where I'm trying to pick this mess up, looked like it had peanuts and shit in it. By the time I was able to pick this up, I'm about throwing up the whole time that I'm trying to clean this up. And I finally get it cleaned up, and I mean I got it cleaned up really good. I got the messy part out of the way, and then I got the new uh, towels and rags and glass cleaning, and just really cleaned it up really good, like it never had been touched before, and like Surf Pro, and like it never happened. But that shit did happen, and so I got it all cleaned up, and that was a day that I'll never forget. So I got that behind me. I talked to the guys in the shop, the mechanics, telling them what I had to do, and we all laughed about it and everything. A couple of days later, my boss that called me in there to clean up the mess, he calls me back in his office again. He says, "Hey Tony, um, here you go," and he hands me this envelope, and he said, "This is for the guy that made that mess a couple of days ago. He brought that back and wanted to make sure he gave it to a guy up front, and that guy said he wanted to make sure you got it to whoever cleaned the mess up, and it was $60." And that was so that was some dirty money. So I took that money, and me and my wife went out to eat on it. So I'll never forget that, cleaning that mess up and end up getting paid $60 to do it, which it probably took me 30 minutes or so to do it. But that was something I'll never forget. They say money is dirty. Well, I got some dirty money.